full year, and that lets you save.
Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green look on.
Welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. As always, I'm your host, True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. Today we have your local chiropractic, Michael Lentz, back on the show for an interview. We're talking about a healthy baking event, and I'm going to wrap up the show with an inspiring story. Be sure to stay tuned in. All that and so much more coming up on...
This is Exploring Mind and Body with True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert on 96.5 CKFM.
This segment brought to you by Complete Truth Protein Powder. Live free, live true with whole natural foods. No additives, preservatives, soy, gluten, and dairy free. Supplement with superfoods to energize your day. Visit CompleteTruthProtein.co for details. Free samples available.
All right, welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. On today, we have Michael Lentz, our local chiropractic, back with us. Thanks for joining us again, Michael.
Thanks for having me back, Drew.
It's been a few weeks or maybe a couple months since you've been on, so hopefully things have been going well, and we're looking forward to hearing some more information from you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be back. It's always great to be on the show, and hopefully we can provide a little insight for your listeners.
Okay, so just for our listeners real quick, let's go over some of maybe your credentials or what you specialize in.
Well, I'm a local chiropractor, like you say. I've been here for about 12 years, and we see a wide range of different conditions, different types of people. I do have a special interest in athletes, sports. I'm the team chiropractor for the local Olds Grizzlies Junior A hockey team. And so we deal with not only pain and injuries and problems like that, but also in improving people's performance and just helping them be at their best.
Okay, I want to get into athletics shortly here, but just to be certain here, just to be clear, one of the few things that I get, one of the most common questions through chiropractic is cracking bones and painful movements and maybe short or acute movements going on. Can you clear that up for us?
Yeah, there's a lot of different methods and techniques that chiropractors use. So if people aren't comfortable with one method or another, there's usually another way that we can do things. The typical chiropractic adjustment does have a quick movement to improve mobility in a joint. And sometimes you'll get that little click or a pop. It really shouldn't be highly painful, especially if you've already been in pain. A lot of times you can actually get some relief from it. And I think there's just a little bit of uncertainty. People just don't really know or understand what's going on. And once they give it a try and give it a chance, usually it allays their fears pretty well, and they can respond really well to whatever type of treatment we may use.
Okay, what is the most common benefit that you can offer someone that comes and uses your service?
Well, probably the most common thing that people are familiar with is relieving pain, getting back from injuries and recovering, that sort of a thing.
Is there a specific area?
Most common would be lower back. Probably second most common is neck. But, the main thing is that those areas are highly involved with your nervous system. They have a big influence on it. And that's really what we focus on, is the functioning of your nervous system. We get to that by dealing with muscles and joints, especially the spine. But really, we're not focusing so much on symptoms. We're focusing on function, and especially the function of your nervous system. So we just want to get that working as well as it can.
Okay. And so what's your ideal client? What kind of people can come and see you, do come and see you? What kind of target will you benefit to improve lifestyles?
All right. Well, we see people from all different walks of life, different lifestyles, all ages as well. We'll see newborns, we'll see kids, we'll see seniors. So really just about anyone can benefit from chiropractic. One that we're really interested in helping is, people who are actually feeling good already and just want to get feeling better. There's a certain kind of group of people that come into our office, and when you say, "How are you doing today?" they'll say, "Well, if I was good, I wouldn't be here." Now, that's one way of looking at things, but really the kind of people that we really like to see are people who are already feeling good and just want to get feeling better, or want to improve, or want to stay functioning as well as they can, or maybe even take things to the next level.
You said something there, newborns. That was interesting. That's the first time I heard something like that. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people don't think about newborns being treated because, they're not complaining of back pain and haven't been lifting, things like that. But just the birth process alone can put a whole lot of stress and tension on the spine and the nervous system. And so it's usually good to get them checked and make sure everything is properly aligned and functioning well so that they can grow and develop properly.
So how often does this happen, or how does someone come upon you and say, I want to see if my newborn needs to be aligned?
Well, it's a great thing for just about anybody to do. I adjusted my own daughter the first time I held her. And it's great when you can see kids when they're young and you can catch problems early and just, again, help them to develop appropriately and get their nervous systems working well.
So can you give us a visual? I don't know how difficult that is, but can you give us a visual? Because I think most people think about, cracking or jerking when they think about chiropractic. And we've talked about some other methods, maybe more gentle methods.
Yeah.
But I think if someone heard that a baby's being adjusted, they might be getting some jerking or pulling going on. Can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there are a lot of different methods and techniques, and everybody gets treated a little bit differently depending on their situation. And obviously, if it's gentle enough for newborns, it's gentle enough for almost anybody. But we do adapt it for babies and kids. And one way of looking at it is, I've heard the term used that the amount of force and pressure that we'll use on a newborn baby is about the amount of pressure you would use to test the firmness of a ripe tomato. So it's real gentle. It has more to do with mobility and just making sure things are functioning well, because in a newborn, their bones aren't fully developed and everything is kind of soft and mushy anyways. But we do it in a very different, controlled manner, and it's very gentle. A lot of times they'll even just sleep right through the treatment.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for clearing that up. I want to get into some athletics here. And so you've been a team chiropractic for quite some time now.
Yeah, I've been the team chiropractor for the Olds Grizzlies Junior A hockey team for the last 12 seasons. And the last little while I've been treating a dozen or more guys before games, and most of those aren't really for injuries or problems. It's actually they're already feeling good, but they know that with a chiropractic adjustment they can get feeling even better and they can perform at an even higher level.
So how does that work? Do they come and see you before games, or are you in the locker room?
Yeah, I go down to the dressing room before all the home games.
Okay. And so what's the most common reason someone comes to see you? Is it because of an injury? What's the most common reason an athlete comes to see you? Is it because of an injury or because they want to feel their best right before a game?
Yeah, often it starts with an injury. If they've got a problem, they'll know that they're not functioning as well as they can, and until that injury heals, they may be compensating and adapting. And so there's a lot of things that we can do to help speed up the healing process. But then once they reach that point, a lot of times they'll realize that they can improve even further or get even better than they were before the injury. And that's when we get into the fun stuff of helping them elevate themselves to a level higher than they even realized was potential for them before.
Okay. So we talked about some benefits before we jumped on air here. And I'm really interested in professional athletes, and we read a pretty good case study about improving reaction time, and some of the top athletes. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I know who Terrell Owens is. He's been known to use chiropractic. Emmitt Smith, one of my favorite players of all time, he was actually in the case study. I thought that was cool too. So can you talk about improving performance and why some athletes choose to go this route?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned NFL. All the NFL teams have at least one chiropractor on staff. So they're definitely coming on board and seeing how valuable chiropractic can be for them. But I think they all, as you know, high-level athletes will do anything they can to get that extra little bit of enhanced performance, and they'll do anything to push it, to an extra level. And chiropractic is one big thing that a lot of people are finding really can help benefit them, just get their nervous system working top-notch and get things working at a level that they may not have realized was even possible before.
Okay, so one of the things we went over was something getting in the way of the nervous system, or not everything moving cohesively.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Sure.
So what would be getting in the way? Why would the nervous system not be functioning at its optimal level?
Well, one simple way of thinking about it is just if your joints and muscles and bones aren't aligned properly and moving smoothly the way they should, your nerve signals aren't going to get through as clearly as they should. Now, that's especially true with the spine because of its very close relationship with the nervous system. And a lot of times our bodies will kind of compensate and adapt around it, but they're just not tuned in as finely as they could be. So kind of like if you think of a radio station that's not quite tuned to the right station, I mean, you're getting your signals through, but not as crisp and clear as they could be. And you may not even realize that you're not right on the station until you make that little bit of an adjustment. And that's the kind of thing that we can do for the nervous system to really clarify things and get things working much better through the nervous system and then everything else that depends on it.
Okay, so once everything's cleared up, that nervous system is working at its optimal level, what are some of the main benefits that this can do for an athlete?
Well, specifically for athletes, we'll see, as in that case study that I showed you, an increase in reaction time, which is obviously extremely important in pretty much all sports. We can also see an improvement in speed, muscle coordination, balance, things like that. And then, I mean, this applies to non-athletes too, where we can help improve immunity. We can improve blood pressure, things like that everybody can benefit from.
That's interesting. And like how you talked about the immune system, and in previous shows we talked about just using a different angle for a complete overall wellness. And I think it's important to work together and get the whole picture to improve lifestyles.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be a part of a team because, no one can do everything themselves. But if you have a great team that can work together to get all aspects of your life and your health working optimally, you're going to be the best you can be.
Right. Okay. Well, we won't take up any more of your time. Thanks so much for joining us. You are a local chiropractic here in Olds. How do we get a hold of you if people are interested in your services?
You can reach my office by phone at 403-507-2788, or you can check out our website at oldschiropractor.com.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Thanks a lot for having me, Drew.
Exploring mind and body with True Form's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help from the following sponsors: AG Foods in Didsbury, CLC Fitness Center, Health Street in the Cornerstone Shopping Center Olds, and Shoppers Drug Mart, working together to help build a healthier tomorrow. For more information on True Form Life, Drew Taddia, or how to become a sponsor of Exploring Mind and Body, visit trueformlife.com.
All right, I got some exciting news for everyone out there. We have a new event, which is a healthy baking event. You can join myself and health enthusiast Dorothy Keith in the kitchen as we teach you how to transform your favorite baked goods into healthy treats your body will thank you for. You're the baker in this do-it-yourself workshop. Be ready to get in there, get messy, and have some fun. In addition, you'll learn the vocabulary and verbs necessary to read a French recipe. Take these skills home and join your kids in the kitchen, giving them the gift of health by teaching them the skills to make healthy food, all while speaking French. What are you going to receive? You're going to have healthy baking to take home, time to do your own baking, advice on healthy baking substitutes, the opportunity to taste and learn the health benefits of Complete Truth protein, discounts on Complete Truth products, French lessons, which will help you read recipes in French. This is all taking place Monday, March 11th at the Lighthouse Church from 7 to 9 p.m. So actually spots are filling up. We've been advertising for a couple weeks now. So if you're interested, contact me at drewtaddy@gmail.com, trueformlife.com, or completetruthprotein.co.
This segment brought to you by True Form Fitness for all your health and fitness needs. Personal training and group classes available locally. Visit trueformlife.com for details.
All right, so I wanted to end off this radio show with a story that I thought was very inspiring. It actually happened to me, so let's run through it. I was hanging out with some kids the other day. They're about 3 to 5 year olds for the most part, so we're on the same maturity level. I often pull them on a sled when there's snow on the ground. One of the kids asked me to pull them, so I said, "Why don't you pull me this time?" The kid said, "I can't, you're too heavy." Now, if you know me at all, you know how I feel about that word. After a few minutes of a grown-up sized person